Hey there, future road warriors. It's your old pal Aaron Harvey here, and let me tell you, I am pumped to be your guide on this epic adventure we call getting your UK driving license. You know, that little piece of plastic that's basically the key to unlocking a world of freedom, independence, and questionable taste in gas station snacks. Today, we're diving into the wild world of roundabouts, traffic lights that seem to have a personal vendetta against you, and the sheer unadulterated joy of finally being able to blast your own music in the car without your mum telling you to turn it down. Buckle up, because this ride is going to be both informative and hilarious. We're talking tips, tricks, and maybe even a few embarrassing stories from my own driving test experience. Don't worry, what happens in driver's ed stays in driver's ed. Unless it's funny, then it's going straight into this video. Right, so picture this. I'm 17 years old, fresh-faced, full of false confidence, and absolutely convinced that I am basically Lewis Hamilton reincarnated. I'd managed to convince my dad to let me take his prized Vauxhall Astra out for a spin in a supermarket car park on a Sunday morning. You know, when it's basically deserted except for a few pigeons and a tumbleweed of a shopping trolley. Anyway, I hopped in, feeling like an absolute boss, adjusted the mirrors so I could mostly see my own reflection, and then nothing. The engine just sat there, humming like a disgruntled badger. Turns out I'd forgotten to release the handbrake, but did I admit that to my dad? Absolutely not. I blamed it on the car being cold, the pigeons distracting me, even the angle of the sun. Eventually, though, I did get going, and by going I mean I lurched forward like a kangaroo on roller skates, stalled about 6 times, and nearly reversed into a trolley full of someone's weekly shop. Let's just say it wasn't exactly the Formula One debut I had envisioned. But hey, everyone starts somewhere, right? Even Lewis Hamilton probably had to start by figuring out which side the petrol cap was on. Alright, so you've heard my embarrassing first driving experience. Now let's get down to business. Step 1 on your road to driving glory is, of course, getting your hands on that all-important provisional license. This little beauty is your golden ticket to actually, learning how to drive on the road with someone who isn't questioning your sanity every 5 seconds. Now, the application process is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but trust me, holding that license in your hand for the first time is a feeling like no other. It's like the world is suddenly full of possibilities. Or at least, the possibilities of driving to the chippy without having to ask your mum. You can apply for your provisional license online, which is brilliant news because it means you don't have to actually put on proper trousers and leave the house. You'll need to fill out some forms, prove you're who you say you are, and cough up a bit of cash. But honestly, it's a small price to pay for the sweet, sweet freedom that awaits. Okay, so you've got your provisional license, you're feeling good, you're ready to hit the open road. Not so fast, my friend. Before you can unleash your inner Schumacher, you've got to conquer the mighty theory test. Now, I know what you're thinking. Theory? Ugh, boring. But listen, this test is important. It's about more than just knowing which way to point your car when you're indicating left. It's about understanding the rules of the road, staying safe, and avoiding becoming that guy who everyone hates driving behind. So, how do you ace this thing? Well, first up, ditch the idea of cramming the night before like you did for your GCSEs. Trust me, trying to memorize every single road sign while you're half asleep and fueled by energy drinks is not a recipe for success. Instead, download the official Theory Test app, grab yourself a cuppa, and settle in for some quality time with your new best friend, the highway code. You'll need to brush up on everything from hazard perception to stopping distances to what to do. If you accidentally run over a badger, spoiler alert, you should probably stop. But don't worry, it's not as daunting as it sounds. And hey, if you do happen to get a question wrong, just blame it on the badger. They're sneaky little creatures, those badgers. Alright, so you've conquered the theory test. High five for being a road rule whiz. Now it's time for the really fun part. Well, fun might not be the right word. Let's go with character building. Yes, it's time to face your destiny. And by destiny, I mean your driving instructor. Now, finding a good driving instructor is a bit like dating. You're going to be spending a lot of time with this person trapped in a confined space, so it's important to find someone you can actually tolerate. You want someone who is patient, encouraging, and doesn't mind the occasional embarrassing silence when you stall at a green light. Your first driving lesson will probably be a mixed bag of emotions. You'll be excited, nervous, terrified, and possibly a little bit car sick. Don't worry, it's all part of the process. The key is to relax, listen to your instructor, even when you think they're speaking another language, and try not to crash. Oh, and pro tip, avoid booking your lessons for right after lunch. Trust me, nobody wants to be stuck in a car with someone who's just inhaled a cheese and pickle sandwich, especially not your driving instructor. The day has finally arrived. You've studied the highway code like it's Shakespeare. You've parallel parked in your sleep. You've even considered naming your car. Now it's time to face the music, or rather the deafening silence of the driving examiner sitting next to you. Yes, folks, it's time for the practical driving test, the ultimate test of your driving skills, your nerves of steel, and your ability to not burst into tears when the examiner asks you to do a hill start on a busy road. But seriously, don't panic. Remember all that practice you've been doing? All those hours spent perfecting your three-point turns and mastering the art of the roundabout? This is your time to shine. The examiner will be looking for a safe, confident, and competent driver. So basically, just pretend you're driving with your nan in the passenger seat. You know, the one who always tells you to slow down and be careful. Channel your inner nan pleaser and you'll be fine. Right, let's get down to brass tacks. You want to pass this test, right? Of course you do. Well, you've come to the right place because Uncle Aaron is here to share some insider tips that will have you cruising through that test like a pro. First up, remember those show-off maneuvers you've been practicing, you know, the ones that make you feel like you should be driving in a Fast and Furious film? Yeah, leave those at home. The examiner doesn't want to see you drifting around corners or doing handbrake turns. They want to see you driving safely and sensibly. So, as tempting as it may be to channel your inner Vin Diesel, stick to the speed limit and resist the urge to do donuts in the Tesco car park. Speaking of speed, let's talk about the dreaded speed trap. Those sneaky little cameras are everywhere, just waiting to catch you out. So, pay attention to the speed limits, keep your eyes peeled for those telltale signs, and for goodness sake, don't even think about putting your foot down when you're driving past a school. Oh, and one last thing, mirrors. Those magical pieces of glass are there for a reason, people. Use them, check them constantly. Make eye contact with your reflection and give yourself a little nod of encouragement. Just don't get so caught up in admiring your own driving skills that you forget to actually, look at the road. You did it! You passed your driving test, you absolute legend. You've conquered roundabouts, navigated traffic lights, and lived to tell the tale. Now go forth and enjoy the sweet, sweet taste of driving freedom. First things first, treat yourself to some new air fresheners because, let's be honest, that car has seen better days. Then crank up the music because guess what? You're in charge of the playlist now. No more dad rock or mum's cheesy 80s anthems. It's your car, your music, your rules, but with great power comes great responsibility, my friend. Remember, driving is a privilege, not a right. So be safe, be considerate, and for the love of all that is holy, please don't text and drive. Oh, and one last piece of advice from your old pal, Aaron. If you see your driving instructor while you're out and about, give them a little wave. They've earned it. Just maybe don't make eye contact if you're blasting Britney Spears at a stoplight. Some things are best left unsaid. And there you have it, folks. Your crash course, pun intended, in acing your UK driving test. I know it seems like a lot to take in, but trust me, it's all worth it in the end. There's nothing quite like the feeling of freedom that comes with getting behind the wheel of a car and knowing that you can go wherever you want, whenever you want. Follow these steps and you'll be cruising down the road in no time, feeling like a total rock star. Just remember to keep your eyes on the road, your hands upon the wheel, and your wits about you. And most importantly, don't forget to have fun. Driving should be enjoyable, so relax, put on some good tunes, and enjoy the ride. And hey, if you happen to have any funny driving stories of your own, be sure to share them in the comments below. We all need a good laugh, especially when it comes to driving. Now go forth and drive, just maybe not straight into a ditch.